for my son. I don't want him to ever have to work. Why does that bother a mother so much? And why is that always being thrown in my face like that's such a bad thing? It's not a bad thing.
And I told him, listen, no more handouts. No more handouts. It can't be, because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by, I give them money, they go shopping, they put gas in their car, they party, they come back, I need money.
They teach them about contracts, they didn't teach them about saving, they didn't teach them about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He's got baby mamas all over the place. What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s daughter, Iyanna Mayweather, has ignited major controversy after making bold claims about her father's finances. According to her, the boxing icon, once known for flaunting extreme wealth, has allegedly spent a significant portion of his fortune on a lavish and extravagant lifestyle. She suggested that his spending habits may have caught up with him, leading to a noticeable shift in how he handles money within his own family. Iyanna even implied that Floyd is no longer willing to financially support his children the way he once did, instead encouraging or forcing them to become independent and earn for themselves.
Have a pot to in the window to throw. I got tongue twisted. Don't have a pot to sit in the window to throw it out of. Bitch, don't even got a fucking car to drive. I'ma start popping it like that on y'all, cause I just be like, you know, I be real laid back, I be cool, but I'm...
In a recent podcast appearance, Floyd himself appeared to support part of that narrative. He explained that he cannot continue giving money to his children indefinitely. According to reports, he went as far as saying that he simply cannot afford to keep handing out financial support. Instead, he advised his children to start building their own businesses or pursue jobs, emphasizing the importance of self-reliance rather than dependency on his wealth. This statement raised eyebrows, especially considering Floyd's long-standing image as one of the richest athletes in sports history.
I buy them houses, I buy them cars, told them, listen, from here on out, if you guys go to school or you work in one of my businesses, then you can branch off, get your own business, and I'll put the money up to help you start a business, but I need you guys to take what I've already started and triple and double that, and then I need my grandchildren to come behind you guys and do the same.
Former MMA fighter and analyst Chael Sonnen added fuel to the fire by questioning whether Floyd ever made as much money as he claims. Sonnen argued that financial figures in boxing are often exaggerated for promotional purposes. He suggested that while Mayweather presented himself as someone worth billions, the actual numbers might not be as massive as advertised. According to Sonnen, Floyd continued spending at a level that assumed endless wealth, which could explain why rumors of financial struggles are now circulating.
Numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time, it's just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner, you've never heard Cox, you've never heard DirecTV, you have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. The numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good, and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd broke. Would you be boxing if you were?
Sonnen further elaborated on his concerns, pointing out that there has never been clear, verifiable evidence of the enormous checks Floyd claimed to receive from his fights. He questioned whether those figures were ever fully realized in the way they were presented publicly, implying that the gap between perception and reality might be much larger than fans realize.
And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
Former ESPN writer Jason Whitlock also weighed in, suggesting that Mayweather's constant effort to maintain a flashy, celebrity-driven lifestyle may have taken a financial toll. Whitlock argued that Floyd spent heavily to stay relevant and relatable in pop culture, which may have led to debt or financial pressure. He even suggested that Mayweather's return from retirement could be driven not just by passion, but by the need to meet financial obligations and repay debts.
Floyd Mayweather is an example of the stupidity of living for the culture and trying to be relatable and trying to be this incredible icon or example of look how much money I've made. He's blown it all, and now at 49 years old, he's got to go back into the boxing ring and continue to fight because he's in a lot of debt. And this is what I was trying to make the point to Cam Newton about. This whole, I'm doing it for the culture. What has doing it for the culture ever got?
On the other side of the debate, Floyd's close associate and business partner WAC 100 strongly rejected the idea that Mayweather is broke. He pointed out that similar rumors have followed Floyd for over 2 decades, yet none have ever been proven. According to WAC 100, Mayweather still owns multiple luxury properties and continues to live an extremely wealthy lifestyle. In his view, these claims are exaggerated and driven more by speculation than facts.
They're accusing him of going broke because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 20 million. Maybe that's his broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes is still there because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof. Right? So I don't know unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances. They always accuse the man of going broke. So maybe he's bored.
Maybe 50.
Maybe he's bored. The number 50 don't mean nothing because he's still performing like he always had.
Despite all the controversy, Mayweather has returned to the gym and resumed training. This comes after announcements of upcoming exhibition bouts and a potential professional fight with Manny Pacquiao. His return to training suggests that, regardless of financial rumors, Floyd remains active and committed to staying in fighting shape. Former world champion Andre Ward offered a more balanced perspective. He acknowledged Mayweather's flashy lifestyle but emphasized that Floyd has never neglected his training. Ward highlighted that throughout his career and even in retirement, Mayweather has maintained discipline, consistency, and a strong work ethic. According to Ward, this dedication is a key reason why Floyd has remained competitive and relevant for so long.
The flash, even though you see the glitz, even though you see Floyd in the streets ripping and running, one thing he never neglected was the gym. He always stayed true to his roots and he perfected his craft, and that's why he became who he became. I personally wish that Floyd Mayweather at 49 years old would be somewhere kicking up his feet, living off his investments, and frankly...
Amid ongoing rumors, Iyanna Mayweather posted on social media that she might get a job. While she claimed it was out of boredom, many critics interpreted this differently. Some believe it could indicate that Floyd has reduced or completely cut off her financial support, reinforcing earlier claims about his changing approach to money within his family.
Yaya, after after being courted by her dad, an NBA young boy, got on the internet and said something very interesting. She said, what did she say, Jasmine? Lately, you gotta expand it for me. Thank you so much. Lately, I've been bored. So I was thinking about getting a job for fun, or maybe work like 2 or 3 days out of the week, just to see what it's like. Why not? Ooh, the entitlement. The laziness. The fact that she couldn't read the room. You know, there's people out here looking for jobs. I'm bored, so I'm just gonna get a job today. I couldn't even believe she tweeted that. I just couldn't believe. I said, oh my God, like, she is really.
The situation has also sparked a broader discussion about financial responsibility among wealthy families. Critics argue that growing up with access to immense wealth does not automatically teach someone how to manage it. Skills like budgeting, saving, and investing are essential, and without them, even large fortunes can disappear quickly. Many experts point out a common pattern where second-generation individuals lose inherited wealth due to a lack of financial education or discipline. In some cases, parents focus heavily on building wealth but fail to teach their children how to sustain it. In others, children may simply take their financial security for granted.
You already know what's up. These little girls don't know how to do nothing. And she's sitting online about, I'm bored. And y'all can say, well, her daddy rich, but like, what if something happens to her father? Oh, we got trust funds. Okay, cool. He may have trust funds. But does she know how to budget money? Does she know how to make money? Does she know the value of money? That empire, that estate is gonna be gone. And statistics show that 85% of second wealth generators from their parents go broke because they don't understand how to manage it. Which means there's a few reasons. Either we spent too much time making it, we didn't have time to educate our kids on it, and so we just gave them everything. Or two, they just don't give a damn. They just entitled, spoiled.
Some analysts believe that at this stage of his life, Floyd Mayweather Jr. should step back from active competition and focus on enjoying the wealth he has already built. They argue that he has the experience and knowledge to succeed as a promoter and businessman, potentially shaping the future of boxing from behind the scenes. However, questions remain about why his promotional ventures have not fully dominated the sport, with some fighters choosing to leave after signing. This has led to speculation that Floyd's deep connection to boxing and the spotlight that comes with it keeps pulling him back into the ring.
Floyd Mayweather with his popularity, Floyd Mayweather with his knowledge of business, boxing business. He's made the mistakes, he's had to fight for everything that he's gotten, and he's built himself into a mega superstar, and he knows the ins and outs of the sport. I feel like if Mayweather Promotions was ran the way it was supposed to be run, Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, should be running the sport of boxing. He should be the premier promoter in the sport. What promoter can stand up to Floyd Mayweather if his promotional company comes after him? But for whatever reason, Floyd Mayweather Promotions has not dominated the game. They sign a lot of guys, and then for whatever reason, those guys get released, or there's an issue and they move on. I don't understand that, but my heart for Floyd would be to do just that. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, which we see him doing a lot. Living off your investments, which we hear him talk a lot about, and running the game as the premier promoter in the sport of.
Andre Ward also addressed the criticism surrounding Mayweather's financial situation, expressing respect for Floyd's legacy both as a fighter and a businessman. He pointed out that much of the criticism overlooks what Mayweather actually achieved. Floyd built his brand around the concept of wealth and success, turning himself into a global attraction. Ward emphasized that Mayweather was highly strategic in promoting himself and maximizing earnings, even when promoters doubted his drawing power. However, he acknowledged that Floyd's public persona can create mixed opinions, with some focusing more on criticism than accomplishments.
Mayweather's responsible for y'all getting media credential at these big fights and getting these free lunches and being a part of a big event. But for years I've heard people only talk about what Floyd Mayweather wasn't to them, what he did not do. How even though this was a great event and it's generated tens of millions and in many cases hundreds of millions, he should have stopped him. He was boring. He was this. I've always supported and pushed back on that narrative of Floyd Mayweather. Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing, it was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included early on, didn't think.
Jake Paul also entered the conversation, criticizing the ongoing drama surrounding the potential Mayweather vs. Pacquiao rematch. He described the situation as chaotic and unnecessary, arguing that constant back-and-forth negotiations and confusion damage boxing's credibility. Paul suggested that the sport relies too heavily on recycling old rivalries instead of creating fresh matchups that fans genuinely want to see. In his view, the hype around the rematch seems driven more by money and marketing than true competitive value.
With boxing is people in the sport who aren't professional and
it makes us all look bad.
It's terrible, and it's so archaic and old, and there's so many egos. People think that they're bigger or better than they are multiple times. They have terrible teams around them that's like their homie from, back in the day running for them, and because of that, these types of deals don't get done, and it all comes down to like, oh, well, ring size, and you can't wear these shoes and this type of glove, and you can't wear this glove. It's like, bro, stop being a fight. Like, that's the problem with the sport, and that's probably what they're running into, a lack of professionalism. And
adding to the speculation, reports surfaced claiming that Manny Pacquiao may have acquired one of Mayweather's boxing gyms in Los Angeles. This sparked further debate online, with some interpreting it as a sign of financial pressure on Floyd. Others argued that such transactions are common among wealthy athletes and should not be taken as evidence of financial trouble. Instead, they see it as part of normal business restructuring or investment strategies.
This is major news. Manny Pacquiao now has a home gym in LA. Pacquiao Prime Boxing Limitless. The truth is, I came today to Hollywood to check out Chuck Norris' start. It's the second time LA. Last week I looked for it, I couldn't find it. I came back today, was able to find it. It was not easy to find. And I came to pay respect. Chuck Norris, an icon, the legend, passed away. I'm happy to see people didn't forget him. They leave flowers and pictures and things for him, and I'll get into that second half of this video. But as I'm coming back to my car, I look up and I see this sign. And I caught up with one of the residents, a lady that lives nearby, and she told me this used to be Mayweather Fitness. Check it out. Manny Pacquiao wins the first round heading in.
WAC 100 once again dismissed the rumors, responding to claims about Mayweather returning to face fighters like Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao due to financial issues. He insisted that even if Mayweather's net worth had decreased, it would still be enormous by ordinary standards. To illustrate Floyd's mindset, WAC described witnessing him leave a late-night social setting in a luxury car, only to change into running gear and jog home. According to him, this behavior reflects discipline, focus, and a champion's mentality that hasn't faded over time. He concluded that Mayweather's skills, conditioning, and competitive identity remain intact, and the rumors about financial decline are likely exaggerated.
He's gonna fight Mike Tyson, an exhibition match. And then after that, they're saying August, he's supposed to be fighting Manny Pacquiao at the age of 49 after retiring almost 10 years ago. He's putting his 50-0 record on the line, and this is like, that's his thing, 50-0.
I will say this. Me and Floyd, we very close. I've left the strip club at 3 o'clock in the morning, where Floyd went to in a Rolls Royce. But he comes out the strip club in sweats and running shoes and jogs home 9-10 miles. 2-3 o'clock in the morning, he's been up all day. His mind, his body is still conditioned for who he is. His technique has not been, his technique has.
So now the question remains, what do you think about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s financial situation? Is this just another wave of rumors surrounding a global superstar, or could there be some truth behind the claims?